Good evening. Ira Epstein, and here we are on Monday, the 13th of October, 2025 at 6:10 p.m. Central Time. Well, interesting day today. You know, the markets over the weekend, the first thoughts on Friday's close was we open up Sunday night and the futures markets in tank. That didn't happen. Instead, we had one heck of a rally. Now, the rally in the metals, and this is your metal update, they haven't really stopped. They've continued to move higher. They're vertical, parabolic is what some people call it. I warn you, these markets get very violent. Silver today was up $3. Now, $3 is a big move. You won't find them very often. What if you're on the wrong side of the trade? You've got to ask yourself that. So you got to figure out ways that you can get into these markets and play them one way or the other. But before we get all through there, why don't we take a look at what you have tomorrow? We do start off in the morning for the week ending October 11th, that's for last week, with the Red Book retail sales. They've been averaging about a 6% increase. Due to today being Columbus Day, the API Petroleum stocks report typically released tomorrow will come out on Wednesday, and they're pushing back the EIA weekly petroleum stocks report to Thursday. So be aware of that. The weekly heating oil and propane stocks, they'll also be delayed by a day to the 16th as well. Then tomorrow you have Fed Governor Michelle Bowman. Fed Chair Powell will speak on monetary policy tomorrow. That gets interesting. Fed Governor Waller and Boston Fed President Susan Collins. They're all due to speak tomorrow, so you want to pay attention to what they're saying. Now, to a person, we have to see how they come out. You know, I was watching the new Philly Fed president come out, and she's definitively a dove. I mean, it's about cutting rates, but doing it in a nice, mild way, but the market has to be accommodated. Okay, I don't think anyone didn't expect that. Now, you're up a little bit, not dramatically so on the energies. You know that we saw that the peace deal between Israel and Hamas got the prisoners released, but there's different phases to this deal. You have not seen Hamas give everything up. You have not seen, at least as of me putting this out, Hamas return all the bodies of the dead that they had captured. So there's things that still have to happen. And believe me, this is on a razor's edge. It could go either week. So while everybody was applauding all this, I guess I'm the guy standing back because you've still got to get the two parties to do so much, including governance in the area, getting Hamas out of the government, taking away the arms from Hamas. Nobody's done that. How do we get all that done and where do you go? But lose no sleep over the fact that the good part is that the hostages were released on both sides. The detainees that the Israel was holding, along with prisoners, two different classes, a large number have been sent back, and 20 hostages that were still alive returned back to Israel. These are all good things, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Soon we'll start hearing more now about China and the United States. I think everybody, both sides, are trying to find an off-ramp that they both save face with and get to the point where all this tariff and threatening each other day after day almost comes to an end. The dollar rallied again. You're back to the 99 level, and as you could see, you're pushing the 116 level in the euro. Most currencies just sort of hanging right here, not doing an awful lot. Even the Canadian dollar continues to fall, and you're very quiet, but doing well in the bonds and notes. You're still staying there just over 4% in the 10-year note. So when we look at the gold, if you were to close here, you're up 2.5% at this point for the week. You won't close there. I don't know where you'll be. You're making a higher high today from the looks of it than you did during the day. The market has rebounded sharply from the big declines that we had. You can see how the market is now sitting here, and the question is, where does it keep going? You've been hitting the Bollinger Band. You break down, you rally back to it. You don't see it running through it and just going into the stratosphere. So the play has been, and it's a difficult one, to buy the pullback and try to come out there. I can tell you that I had my paid subscribers do that, and on Friday I was like this. And just by that, we didn't come out at the end of the day because you kept the bullish embedded reading in the market. You see that? And today at the upper Bollinger Band, I'm telling them, okay, I would recommend taking some money off the table and then buying the breaks again. In the gold-silver ratio, look at what silver's done. It gained so much, this is a new break low. So this is the lowest the market has been since all the way up here in May when it was 104. It's now pushing the 81 level. That gives you an idea. And you could see what the silver has done. Unlike the gold, it did lose its bullish embedded reading. And if we step back here a little bit, which I think we can do, show you how this works. You lost the reading right here on Thursday, not Friday. You didn't regain it on Friday. So what the market's done is it's come back up, but it's overbought into the upper Bollinger Band. That doesn't mean it can't keep going higher, but it's different than what we saw in the gold. Copper got smashed Friday, down about 4.5%, went up 5% today, and it's still gaining. I wrote a report over the weekend for my paid subscribers explaining that I think copper, especially silver, but the copper, the squeeze play that it had before, elements of that are still at work here. Not where it went up as high as it did back here, but silver's under that influence right now at the London Metal Exchange. In the platinum market, you have a higher high, lower low. Here too, take a look what happened. So the market comes down, follow me, right here on Friday. First time it loses it. The only time you can get back the embedded reading is the day after you lose it, which it did today. This is called a bear trap. And before the market gets under this low, my theory is the market should make a run for the closest main moving average above it or the Bollinger Band. So we'll see if that happens. And in the dollar, you've come up, you're overbought. I'd be very cautious about it right here. So, you keep hearing me talk about my research, what I tell my clients. You can see it yourself. You just go to iraepstein.com under the word research, and I make you a promise. I'll say, hey, I got lucky in the gold and we did it and I was holding on. I have losers too. Nobody walks on water. If you're thinking that I can make you money, wrong. I give you my advice. I can give you what I think. What you do is what's key. I don't manage your money. That's why. I sit there and tell you what I'm seeing in the market, what I think you can do with it. You take it from there, and I do give specific buy here, sell there, get out this way, move stops accordingly, and so on. And every now and then I share with you, and you'll hear me say often here, I do say it, hey, I was wrong today. You'll hear me say, hey, I got lucky, I was right. Whenever I'm right, I like to say I'm lucky. So with that, I'm Ira Epstein. Move your cursor to the top here, and you can go there. If you're on YouTube, you'll see a cursor right here, that little symbol. Give it a click. It'll take you to the website. Go to research. I'm Ira. Have yourself a great evening.